Hey y'all, I'm Sherilyn. This is Just Goodness 333 Little Homestead. Today we'll be in the dining room. We're going to talk about something that a few of us have thought about, most of us haven't thought about until recently. We're going to talk about ways to begin to build a food storage. And you know, I always try to have a few months worth of food, staples and such, you know, stuff in the deep freeze. Canned foods put away, just to help out if things got thin. And never in my life did I think that I would see a shortage of something as simple as a bag of flour or a package of yeast. Or toilet paper, water. You know, I live in South Florida, so we're used to having runs on food during hurricane seasons and such things like that. But never in my life did I think that I would need to buy a bag of flour and it wouldn't be available except at a huge price online. I think a lot of us did see the price gouging that went on. This is July 4th. Happy Independence Day, and it's 2020, so the world is still experiencing a global pandemic, and things just got a little crazy a few months back and has me really thinking, I think I need to have more than just a couple of months of general staple foods. What had happened was I had about maybe two 5-pound bags worth of flour, and I had it in my great big 2-gallon glass flour jar, and I thought, oh, this is fine, this is wonderful, until I actually baked with it and realized, oh my gosh, that was the stuff that had that old wheat flour in it. It's not going to work for my other things, and it's something I have pulled out of a plastic cereal container in the back of my pantry, and it tasted like it. The bread tasted awful. And so I thought, well, I'll just, get a few bags of flour. And I went on for the grocery pickup at Walmart, no flour available. I went looking all online, and the only thing I could find was a 5-pound bag of flour for $25 on Amazon. Needless to say, I didn't get it. And I will never be stuck in that situation again. So today we're going to talk a little bit about food storage. This is not an exhaustive video on every type of food storage available. I just want to hit on some of the things that I'm doing. So come along. Okay, here we are in my dining room. Where to begin? Okay, we talked about flour. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to preserve 20 pounds of flour, 25 pounds of flour, and I'm going to preserve that for up to 25 years. That sounds awesome, right? If you think about it in today's prices, this is non-GMO organic flour, and it's less than $1 a pound. So you can get this bucket filled with non-GMO organic flour for $25. And even if it sits in the back of your closet somewhere, it's going to be totally airtight, no oxygen getting to it. It's going to be perfect for 25 years. And how are we going to do that? This is a 5-gallon Mylar bag. And I bought these on Amazon. And this is a 5 ml bag. You really don't want to get anything any thinner than that, because you want this to last a long time. Now this is a food grade bucket. Because I have an elderberry syrup company, I have a lot of these food grade buckets. This is what I get honey in from the local farmer. I just wash them out really good. Let me show you this. This you can get at Tractor Supply with a regular lid for about $7. if you don't have $7 or don't want to spend $7 or want to save some money, this bucket I got at the Walmart bakery. It's their icing buckets, and it has a nice lid. You want to make sure you get a food grade bucket for most of your things, but if you don't have a food grade bucket, you can still put your dry goods in this Mylar bag. This is for dry goods. In this Mylar bag, and you can store it in a non-food grade bucket with a lid, or even you can even store it in, you know, one of these. We all have some of these lying around. I'm going to put this Mylar bag down into this bucket. We're going to press it out and make sure that we get it completely open. That's pretty good. Now we're going to fill it with flour. Okay. Now we're ready to put the flour in this bag. Let me tell you what I'm going to do and why I'm going to do it. I'm going to fold down the outer edge of this bag. Because we're going to seal this bag, and we don't want any flour to get on this outer edge. When we seal it, it may make you know, a space where air can get in. I'm just going to make sure we keep this edge right here really clean. And I'm going to set the flour bag down in there and dump it. Just because we've all seen flour make, you know, a big dust cloud. I'm also going to readjust the bag a little. Dust cloud. And make sure that we settle that flour into the bottom. And that's 2 more and we're done. I already had one in here before I turned the camera on. Something else I wanted to tell you, it's extremely important. You need to freeze your flour and your rice. And if you're going to do dry pasta, if you're going to do beans for long-term storage, you need to freeze those for about 3 days before you put them away, just in case there were any little eggs in there, and just in case you know, that you don't want those eggs to hatch later. Now we're going to use an oxygen absorber, which is also going to pull the oxygen out. You don't necessarily have to freeze it, but I wouldn't take a chance. You want this stuff to be good for a really long time. The oxygen absorber is going to remove oxygen, and if any bugs were to hatch, they'd have a hard time living in there without any oxygen. Really, it's your call. But this is the preferred method. When I purchased my Mylar bags online at Amazon, they came with oxygen absorbers. If you find bags that don't come with oxygen absorbers, you're going to want the about 2,000 rating of oxygen absorbers, and you're going to want to also keep these in. I can't get it open. I vacuum sealed these. So let me get a jar opener. I'll be right back. Ta-da! Okay, this is actually a really neat little tool. It's called a jar key, and I bought it on Amazon. It's really neat. And it just Sit it on the edge of a can lid. And pop it up. This is, I'm dropping stuff. This is a 2000 oxygen absorber. We're going to put this in the top and we're going to push out all the air and seal that up. I'm going to fold this over and we get the two together pretty straight. Now I'm going to use this high-tech tool here. Most of you ladies will know what this is. This is just a hair straightener. You can also use an iron. If you put this on a counter somewhere where you could put like a wooden cutting board, a butcher block or something under there for a flat surface, you could use a regular clothes iron. And to do this, you're just going to come on the edges, just like this. Let me bring you over here. For about 5 seconds. Now I have one more spot to go, but I want to mash all of this air out of here before I seal that. $25 pounds of non-GMO organic flour, $7.20. Now let's talk rice. This rice I'm planning to store this for maybe up to 2 years, and we're going to be using this. If I wanted to store it for more than 2 years, I would choose the Mylar bag and do exactly the same thing. Except in here, in this one, we have rice filled to the top, and I put bay leaves in here. This is about 40 pounds of white enriched rice and bay leaves, and I just layered the rice, and about every 4 inches I put like 4 or 5 bay leaves, and then I would pour more rice. This is going to stay in my working pantry, which is in the laundry room, and we'll use this as we need it. The bay leaves are going to keep the any pests that might get in here, a little tiny ant or something. They're going to have a hard time getting in this food grade bucket because there is a little rubber gasket ring around here. It makes for a really tight seal. And again, no Mylar bag, most definitely use a food grade bucket. And if you don't have a vacuum sealer to reseal your oxygen absorbers, you can just put them in a Ziploc bag and squish out all the extra air that you can. I'm going to go ahead and put them in here because I'm shooting a video and I don't have time to go get out my food saver. So when you think about long-term food storage, Everybody talks about having beans and rice. These are easy dry goods, and they can be cooked up pretty easily, and you can have a complete protein. When you mix the beans and the white rice, you have a complete protein. It's a very healthy meal for you. If you're talking about not being able to get to a store for a long time, that's going to be a good meal. That's going to be something filling and cheap to fill up your family. You want to have salt. You can buy in bulk on Amazon and other places, or you could just go in your grocery store. I recommend that you get the good salt, real salt, not the iodized stuff, unless that just happens to be all that's in your budget. Of course, you want to get lots of canned goods. How would you start? I would say start getting your canned goods. Go to the store and buy one flat of a different vegetable every time you go. You can also do fruit this way. You can also buy canned milk, or you can get powdered milk. You can buy powdered milk in the bag at your local grocery store, or you can go online and they have some in large cans that are good for up to 25 years. And I think I just bought one online to put in the long-term storage. There's other things you can get too, like dehydrated butter that will go in your long-term food storage. Don't forget something else that people don't think about is seasonings. This is a broth base, a beef broth base. This is a chicken broth base. If you're down to the point where you can't get to a grocery store, or something has happened, it could be anything. It could be a job loss, it could be an extended illness, it could be just really needing to go on a tight budget to make a purchase, or anything. Or it could be a situation like, you know, a pandemic. And if you don't like the taste of regular beans and rice, then these would really go a long way to make that taste better. You want to think about oats. For oatmeal, that would be a really quick breakfast. In a pinch, you can grind this up and like have oat flour, make some good healthy pancakes with it. If you're concerned that in a situation you might be consuming too much flour, which would just be more like an empty carb, then you can grind this up. You can bake with it. You could put it in cookies and breads. You could do a half and half with oat flour and flour to sort of give some a lot more nutrition to your bread products. And I'm going to put these, I'm not going to do it on camera, but I'm going to put these in Mylar bags as well, but you can tell that they're not a very big package. So what I'm actually going to do, since I only bought the 5-gallon bags and they're a little big, I am going to cut this into fourths, and I'm going to use this to put the oats in and then seal it up and mark it and store it in a bucket. There's just a whole lot to talk about when you want to talk about starting a food storage, and I have put in the description box below it's a complete list. It's a PDF that I'm in the middle of making for some friends and different people who've asked, you know, how to start. How many times have I heard people say, I want to have a food storage, I want to be prepared, but I have no clue where to start. So I've just put together a list, and I thought I'll just cut and paste a lot of that and put it in the description box below. I hope that this video has inspired you and encouraged you. Another thing I want to say is just start small. When you go to the supermarket, buy one extra. You know, if you're going to buy pasta for the week, buy 1 or 2 extra boxes. If you're in there, buy an extra bag of flour, buy an extra bag of sugar. I just want to let you know that you can do this, and that's all I've ever done. Is just bought a few extra bags of this, a few extra boxes of that, ordered 1 or 2 little items online as it fit my budget. And I want to encourage you to do this. You can do this. You've got this. And I'm going to wrap this up at this point. I want to say thank you. I hope you guys are all safe during this time. Thanks for stopping by the homestead. Please go down in the description box and look at all that information. I'll actually include links to a couple of videos or recipes that will encourage you. It's how easy it is to even make your own bread and your own pasta and stuff like that. Until next time, bye y'all.